Hello friends and welcome back to another gardening video. Today I am going to show how you can create this very beautiful jade circular topiary using only waste materials which are available in your house. You can give different shapes to the jade plant, and this one is one of the easiest methods to create a beautiful jade decoration piece for your home. It is easy to make and maintain, and you can use the readily available materials in your house. So over here I have used some old rods which were in my house and some coconut husk and cloth pieces. So for making the rope to tie the coconut husk on the rod, I am using an old t-shirt and I am going to tear it like so that I get thin strips of material which I will be using to tie up the coconut husk. For the central circular rod, I have used this old rod which I had in my house. You can also use an old clothes hanger if you don't have any rod lying around, and you can turn it into a circular shape like I have done over here. And then I am going to use some coconut husk that I have torn apart so that it becomes a little fluffy, and I am going to tie this coconut husk all around the rod using the thin strips of cloth which I had created tearing the t-shirt. So in this manner I'll be tying up the coconut husk all around this rod, and I'll be creating the stand on which the jade plant will be put later on. So this is a really easy method to create the support system for your jade plant. All you need to do is simply roll the thread all around, adding a little bit of coconut husk now and then so that the rod becomes covered up and it looks neat. So in this manner I'll be covering up this full rod with the coconut husk and creating this support system. This coconut husk is also something that I keep whenever I buy a coconut. There is always a little bit of husk remaining on the coconut. I don't throw it away, but I collect it and I reuse it in this manner in my garden. So in this manner I have tied up the husk with the DIY thread, and I'm going to cover up this whole rod in this manner. So this is how it's going to look, and I'm going to cut off the excess thread, and later on I also trimmed off any excessive coconut husk which was pointing out all around. So doing this step makes the stand look a little bit more neater, and in this manner it is very easy to create stand of any shape that you want. You can even create a heart shape or a square shape if you are fond of those shapes. And now coming to the jade plant. So this is the jade plant that I have, and one of the jade plant had these two long branches coming out, so I decided to use this. You can also use to separate jade plant branches and then tie it up in the lower part and use the two branches to cover the two sides of the circular shape. But I already had this plant with two branches, so I'm going to be using this one. So after removing the plant, I'm going to snip off the lower branches, and then I'm going to use this, and I have used a pot and filled it up with garden soil and compost, and it is a well draining soil. I have also added a little sand, and then I'm going to plant this jade in the center of this pot. Make sure that the soil is well draining, because jade plant likes moist soil, but it cannot stand too much of water because it is a succulent plant and the leaves contain water. So overwatering will kill the plant. So make sure you water the plant only when the soil becomes dry. So after planting it, I'm going to push the stand behind it in this manner, and then I'm going to use pieces of thread, and I'm going to tie up the jade plant on the stand in this manner. I had some plastic thread in the house, so I'm going to use that because that will stay on for longer. You can also use wires if you want to tie up the jade plant to give it a more sturdy look. So both of these branches I'll be tying on the two sides of the circle, and I'll be covering the circle and cutting off the excess thread. So in this manner it is really easy to create this jade topiary. Simply tie it up all around properly and your beautiful jade topiary will be done. So once I finish tying up, the next thing that remains to be done is to simply add a little bit more jade plant on the lower side, because the lower stem was looking a little bit empty. So I added a small piece of jade plant on the lower side after I finished tying this up to make it look a little bit more attractive. And another thing that you can do is you can create some small hanging birds or something and can hang it in the central part of this round shape. But I didn't do that now because I was in a hurry to finish off this video. But I did add a smaller piece of jade on the lower part to cover up the stem. And finally water the plant a little bit and spray the plant down with a little bit of water. And this beautiful jade topiary is done. So you can see how easily you can create this circular shaped jade topiary using only waste materials found in your house. I hope you found this video useful and enjoyed watching this video, and thanks for watching.